it my turn?
It is your turn.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a guess of what I did?
I fucking don't, dude. You've been so random in the past few months and so obscure about what the fuck you're doing. I have no clue what's going on anymore.
I'm not like other girls.
You're not. You're a dude.
I played John Wick Hex.
What the fuck, dude?
From 2019.
That's so fucking random.
Thank you.
What the fuck? I knew this game existed, but like, what the fuck, dude?
I played.
It's like a puzzle shooter.
It was developed by Bithell Games, which I've never heard of before. And like the main guy, his last name is Bithell, so I'm assuming it's just some guy. It was published by Good Shepherd Entertainment from 2019 when it came out, all the way up until 2024 or 25, because Wikipedia is telling me that Big Fan Games took it over for publishing rights and then immediately discontinued it on July 17th of this year. But also those two, Good Shepherd and Big Fan, are like shell companies of Devolver Digital or something. I don't know. This is all coming from Wikipedia. It smells fishy. And they didn't even give a reason for delisting it. Everybody, like Polygon, just assumed that it's because the rights to the movie property expired or whatever. But nobody knows. As you said, this is kind of like a board game. Picture like Catan or something like that.
So fucking weird, dude.
Hex movement. So, like those super ultra nerds that play D&D with like a map and like 3D printed rooms that you walk through and stuff. That's what this is. Picture that and like super hot movement. When you're moving, that's how time progresses. So it's very fast paced when you put it all together, but as you're playing it, you can take your time and move slowly and methodically. So you click the little pips, the little hexagons to move. You're trying to reach an endpoint, and as you move, all the other bad guys in the room move as you're moving. You're trying to get to the endpoint of the room.
Do you even play as John Wick?
Yes, you do. So this is a prequel to the first movie.
So is this like his like last job before he gets out?
I think so.
Okay.
John Wick. Hex is a bad guy. He's the main villain, and he's apparently kidnapped the fucking old guy. And
Willem Dafoe.
No. Yeah, that guy.
Ian McShane.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Him and Lance Riddick.
No, not my boy.
Yeah, they're both like kidnapped by the villain, sort of, but they're just like chilling in his study, smoking cigars and like posturizing about like, yes, so what would you do as a villain and whatever. I don't know. The dialogue didn't make any sense. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But John has to go find them and rescue them and shoot the bad guy dead.
Does this actually have a vocal performance from Lance Reddick?
And Ian McShane.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
So this would have been one of his last performances before he died?
Yeah. This came out shortly before 3.
That's sad.
Yep.
I missed that guy.
He died right before 4 came out, or right after 4 came out?
Right after 4, yeah. I think I believe they changed what happened in 4 because he was dying.
Yeah.
Dude, he was so fucking goated.
Yep. I miss him very much.
Yeah.
He was a great actor and played in a lot of things that I care about.
A lot of stuff. Does that mean he was in Firefly?
Not that I know of, but he was the kick-ass Titan in Destiny.
Yeah, the only interesting Destiny character.
That's not true. You had Rosario Dawson as the main warlock lady. Is it Rosario or is it the other one?
I think so, but like Lance Reddick is well above her level.
She's great though. Anyway, back to gameplay. Nope, sorry. The game is split up into 5 levels. John Wick is starting out in New York City, making his way to where the bad guy is. And the levels are like basically one continuous journey. Each level is split up into 5, maybe 6 pieces, like 6 rooms basically per level. Each level you have a set amount of continental coins that you can spend for buffs. And those buffs changed each level. The first level only had like 3 to choose from. By the third one there were 6, but you could only choose 2 because you didn't have enough continental points basically.
Save up your hotel rewards points, boys.
You can't. They don't carry over between levels. You have to spend them now, and they're intentionally like throttled so that you only have a couple of choices to make. But they did really minimal like rolling costs 1 less action point or whatever, or things like that. So it was like, whatever, pretty forgettable. Each room basically like picks up right where you left off from the last one, as far as like your inventory and continuity. Like in the story you could see into the last room that you were in from the room that you just entered. There's a timeline on top of your screen showing you how long actions will take, and it'll show you like the closest enemy, like what his actions will do on the timeline, because time is stopped unless you're moving. You have a choice of actions. You can hit somebody, like punch them. You can like grab their collar and push them like he does in the movies. You can take them down in like an animation-based takedown. You can parry their punch if that's what they're doing and you don't have enough time to do anything else. You can shoot them, obviously, or you can throw your gun. Those are your 6 options for actions besides movement. The bottom of the screen shows your inventory, basically. So it shows how much ammo you have in your gun. Your starting weapon comes with 1 spare magazine, maybe 2. And reloading 1 takes time, but also gets rid of any ammo that's still in the last magazine, like it would in real life if you just dumped your magazine. It's not like a magical Call of Duty magazine. It shows your health. I think you have 10 hit points, but you also have bandages. I think you start with 2 per level. There's a chance to pick up more through the level, but it's not guaranteed. You have focus points. You can crouch, which raises your accuracy when you're shooting, and it also makes you a harder target to hit. And you can wait. You can just spend time and hope that an enemy moves or whatever, reacts to you just sitting there and waiting. When you're crouched, you can roll, I think, 2 spaces in different directions. And that gives you like iframes to dodge being shot at. It will hopefully move you behind cover. Takedowns, you have to choose where you're going to end up standing after the enemy has been taken down. Enemies drop weapons, of course, and I found it frustrating that if you pick up their weapon, even if it's like the same ammo type as yours, you'll lose like any magazines that you have. You can't just grab the magazine out of their gun. You just pick up their gun with 3 bullets left in it or whatever. And that was kind of frustrating. That felt antithetical to John Wick. He would just like pick up magazines, I would think, instead of throwing away everything he has for a couple of shots. And that made the gameplay harder. The further you go into the game, the more weapons they introduce. But overall, there's only 5 weapons. There's a pistol, a revolver, an SMG, a submachine gun, and like a AR type rifle. I think that's it. There wasn't even a shotgun as far as I remember. And there's only 5 levels. It was frustrating sometimes trying to find where the endpoint of the room is. It wasn't very clearly marked. It just drops you into the room and says, okay, have fun. So you have to like scroll around and be like, oh, that's where I'm trying to go. There are doors that you can't go in, but enemies come out of, and they're clearly marked with like a light showing from under the door of like, this is a door where an enemy is going to come through. And I don't know if the respawns were limited or not, but it felt like a lot of enemies in each room as the game went on. I only got to the 3rd level. I almost beat it once. I tried it several times, and I just fucking can't. I had a hard time with it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of enemies. Even if you just book it to the end point, you can't just leave. It'll say there's enemies close by or whatever, and they don't follow into the next room with you, so you have to like clear the surrounding area at the very least to move on to the next room. Like I said, bandages are hard to come by, and ammo eventually gets pretty hard to come by. It's by the time you get to the boss at the end of the level, you're like really low on everything. I had a hard time with this game. A couple of reviews I looked up said that it was really easy to trick the AI. If you just like dance around a coffee table, it confuses their mapping. They don't just follow you and gun you down. But I wasn't willing to do that. I was trying to play the game earnestly. And that's what made it hard because I didn't cheat it or cheese it. Each enemy obviously has health. I think most of the enemies that I saw had like 3 bars of health. Some of them were 4, and some of those I would perform a takedown on and do 3 damage to, so they obviously have 1 left. So they're stunned at the end of the takedown, and they're on the ground on their back. So I would be like, okay, punch them one more time to do that one last bit of damage, and punching them would make them suddenly stand up and go through the getting punched animation. It was a really janky animation change between those two. But the rest of it looked pretty good. The mix of move, crouch, shoot, pivot, shoot, stand, reload, move, like it's a fun game. It makes you think about the movies and like the tactics that John Wick is hypothetically thinking about going through those action scenes. It makes you think about like what he's thinking better as you're playing this game, and like really appreciating those scenes more. At the end of a room, you have the option to watch the recap of what you just did in normal time without all the pauses. And that's a cool idea. But because of the hex base layout of the game, John moves in like really wonky turns, and the animation of like the whole thing playing through looks super janky. It doesn't look good at all. It's a really good idea. Like if they had that in XCOM, it would be really cool, because you would just watch your guys spread out and move tactically and take things down and hit the end goal in a couple minutes, like 2 minutes, despite it taking you a half an hour to play through that level. But in this, because of the hex-based level design, it doesn't look good at all. It looked really funny sometimes. What was it? The focus points. I don't know what spent focus. I think it was like punching people and parrying and rolling spent focus points. So every once in a while you have to spend time to refocus. I think it also, like, if you have low focus, it affects your hit chance, your accuracy percentage while shooting. So every once in a while you just have to hit the button to refocus and spend the time and just like shake it off a little bit. So that was weird, but it didn't seem prevalent really to the gameplay. There were unlocks after each level. If you beat the part-time, if you didn't use any bandages, a certain shooting accuracy, and hitting like an amount of weapon types used through the level, all of those would give you a nickname that you could wear as a badge and an achievement. So it was pretty like, wow, whatever. Some reviews I watched were like, ordinarily we bitch about pointless skill trees in a game, but it really feels like this game should have had a little bit of something, some sort of permanent upgrade as you're going through the whole game. Because really it doesn't, the 5 levels don't have a whole lot of progression. It's just like you could start anywhere really if you just open the game up and it would play the same pretty much. They introduce more weapons on the enemies as you're playing through the game, but that's kind of it. There's 3 enemy types, maybe 4. There's like a fighter, there's a guy with a gun, there's a ninja guy that has more, evasiveness. I think that's it. And then bosses. Yeah, it's a really fun idea. The first time I played it, I played through like the first 2 levels. I was hooked. It was really, really fun to think about how to make your way through the levels methodically. But there's just like, there's something missing. It needs some more backup. It needs more depth to it. So, it's all right. The music was fine. It was pretty, like the quiet, tense music from the movies. It was on par with that. I don't know if it was any licensed stuff from the movies, but it's like that tense piano playing. Yeah, I think I got this in a Humble Bundle monthly. So this and several other games for like $12 or whatever, quite a while ago. So worth the entry point. They've printed a whole bunch of copies on console, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. So it's not impossible to find, but you can't buy it online, like from an online game store, like Steam or Xbox or PlayStation. So if you can't find a copy physically, I guess you would just have to accidentally find it online somewhere.
Oops.
Insert Pirates of the Caribbean theme song in the background.
I got a jar to